What's going on, guys? This is a donation request. This is for Rob. This is Paul Simon. You can call me Al. Wow. Classic, right? Yes, of course I've heard this song. I've even performed this song. That's right. And I told Rob I would even play him the bass solo. So that's going to be in here too. Wow. Amazing. If you're new here, please subscribe. Check out my videos, all kinds of videos, reaction videos, bass videos, music videos. Check it out. I do donation requests just like this one. So if there's something you want me to watch, listen to, talk about, hit me direct, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. In the notes section, leave me a link, leave a description. Let me know what you want the video to be on. I'll make the video. You can also email me at jpanreadsemail@gmail.com. Thank you, guys. Everything is in the description. Everything. Thank you, guys. Okay, so Rob says, speaking of albums of the year, there is also Graceland. You've talked recently about bass soloing, so of course I'm going to throw you the song request from Graceland with the famous bass run. The talking points is, what do bass players think of this song and that bass run? Is it legit or a gimmick, etc.? Okay, I don't know what other bass players think. I know what I think, and it is kind of a gimmick because so how it is it's the slap bass part that got reversed, right? So he recorded it, and then the engineer took just this little 4-beat, 1-bar section and then flipped it, and that's it. So he didn't actually play the whole thing. He only played like half of it. But I mean, I've had to play the whole thing as a solo, you know, for countless weddings. So it was I actually played it in the first wedding band I was ever in when I lived in Boston. It was a band called Soul City. They're still around, actually. They've been around for like, it's got to be like almost a century now. It's got to be forever. Not quite a century, but over half a century, easily. They've been around for a long time. Long time. Decades and decades and decades and decades. Yeah, I played with them for a couple of years before I moved to Los Angeles. All right, so You Can Call Me Al. This is just information on this song. Paul Simon, lead single from the 7th studio album Graceland, which is classic, right? I've heard it, right? Classic. Written by Simon, its lyrics follow an individual seemingly experiencing a midlife crisis. Its lyrics were partially inspired by Simon's trip to South Africa, an experience with its culture. Released August 1986, became one of Simon's biggest solo hits, reaching top 5 in 7 countries. That's pretty amazing. Names in the song came from an incident at a party that Simon went to with his then-wife Peggy Harper. French composer and conductor Pierre Boulez, who was attending the same party, mistakenly referred to Paul as Al and to Peggy as Betty, inspiring Simon to write a song. John Perales noted that the lyric can be interpreted as describing a man experiencing a midlife crisis. Where's my wife and family? What if I die here? Who will be my role model? However, as Simon himself explained during the Graceland episode of the Classic Albums documentary series, by the third verse, the lyrics move from a generic portrait-like perspective to a personal and autobiographical one, as he describes his journey to South Africa, which inspired the entire album. Song opens simply with its protagonist wondering aloud, why is life difficult, and other questions. Simon structured the song's lyrics in a way that listeners would be given the simplest information first, before getting abstract with his imagery in the song's third verse. Because there's been a structure, those abstract images, they will come down and fall into one of the slots that the mind has already made up along about the structure of the song. See, this guy's like into lyrics and stuff like that. I don't think that far. I mean, the only time I would think that far is if I'm writing the lyrics, right? Because I'm going to try and put effort into it, stuff like that. But when I'm listening to music, I'm not paying attention like that. That could be for the lyric heads, like Paul Simon or whatever. Anyways, You Can Call Me Al was recorded entirely at the Hit Factory in New York City, April 1986. It differs from much of Graceland in that regard, as most of the songs on the album were recorded in numerous locales worldwide. Some of the saxophone textures heard on You Can Call Me Al were created by Adrian Belew on a guitar synthesizer. Cool. Quote, I had written a variety of saxophone emulations from baritone to alto, which had a realistic yet unorthodox quality. Simon spelled out each part exactly as he wanted them for the iconic beginning of the song. They may have added real saxophones later, but my synthesized saxophones are definitely there as well. I'm sure very few people realize that. Yeah, I didn't know that. Didn't even know he was on the track. I didn't even know he was on the track. Synthesizer player Rob Mounsey arranged and conducted the horn section of 8 brass instruments and a bass saxophone, and contributed heavily to the track's arrangement and groove. The song features a bass run performed by Bakithi Kumalo. The song is palindromic, as the second half is the first played backwards, right? The decision to reverse the recording was made by Simon's longtime engineer Roy Haley, who noted in a later interview that this type of experimentation was common in order to make the songs more interesting. The Pennywise, he had to flip a bass solo backwards in order to make a bass solo more interesting. Talking about bass solos and just the not need for them, it's like he played that bass thing, and then it's like, well, how do we make it cooler? Let's reverse it. Okay. Oh, now it's cool. You know what I mean? It's just, they don't get the opportunity to solo like other instrumentalists. It's just what it is, right? Depending on the music, right? But for the most part, even in jazz, it's like, even in jazz, bass player isn't getting a solo every song. It's just not where, you know, the horn player or the piano player may take a solo every song. It's just what it is. The penny whistle solo was performed by jazz musician Morris Goldberg. After the song's completion, it was mixed at Hit Factory alongside the rest of Graceland at an average of 2 days per song. The fast pace of Simon's vocals made them difficult to mix over the numerous instruments in the backing track. After much work on the track, Haley used tape delays feeding separately into the 2 audio channels, which made the vocals clear. Cool. And we're not doing the music video. I know that there's a music video for it already. I'm concerned if it's going to get blocked. All right, let's get to it. Classic song, right? It's been a minute since I heard it, but I know it. Let's get to it. You can call me out. Bam. Bass is very like mid-rangey.
A man walks down the street, he says, why am I soft in the middle now?
Slapping.
Why am I soft in the middle? The rest of my life is so hard. I need a photo opportunity. I want a shot of redemption. Don't want to end up a cartoon in a cartoon graveyard.
Fantastic. Really, it sounds great.
Dogs in the moonlight. Far away, my well-lit door. Mr. Beer Melly, get these mutts away from me, you know. I don't find this stuff amusing.
I think that the bass is...
If you'll be my bodyguard, I can be your long lost pal.
Because, right, he's playing that slap part, but then there's a fretless bass that's in the back sometimes.
A man walks down the street, he says, why am I short of attention? Got a short little span of attention, and whoa, my nights are so long.
Drums.
Where's my wife and family? What if I die here? Who'll be my role model now that my role model is gone? He ducked back down the alley with some roly-poly little bat-faced girl. All along, there were incidents and accidents. There were hints and allegations. If you'll be my bodyguard, I can be your long-lost pal. I can call you Daddy, and Daddy, when you call me, you can call me out. Call me out.
Horns. Oh, you hear this bass? Right? That's all fretless bass. Here's the horns. We must have cut that, or maybe there's a radio version.
A man walks down the street, it's a street in a strange world. Maybe it's the third world, maybe it's just first time around. Doesn't speak language,
yeah, that bass is pretty cool.
Holds no currency, he is a foreign man. He is surrounded by the sound. Cattle in the marketplace, scatterlings and orphanages. He looks around.
Yeah, there's 2 basses. This is like
spinning in infinity. He says, amen, hallelujah. If you'll be my bodyguard, I can be your long lost pal. I can call you Daddy.
There's all these hooks. hook. The bass part's a hook. It's just great. Alright. Bass solo right here. We got just a vocal. Yeah, vocal. Yeah. All that stuff. That's fretless bass. Alright, here it is. You hear that it's backwards. You can hear it, right? Clearly they flipped it. I mean, it's cool. You know, it's cool. Yep, the background vocals there. Nice. Yeah, sounds awesome. Like really, sounds really awesome. 80s. But, and it does sound 80s, but yet not that kind of 80s that just, I don't know. It sounds more timeless than a lot of 80s. Does that make sense? Because some 80s, it just sounds like the 80s. It just sounds like, and you're just like, oh wow, this is the 80s. This is just like, oh my God, the synthesizers and all that stuff. This doesn't really have that. It's different. So, but it's really good. It's really good. This whole record is fantastic, right? It's just fantastic. The whole concept, everything is just incredible. I know it's like super controversial or whatever. I'm not going to get into any of that stuff, but really awesome. And yeah, that bass solo. So, okay. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm going to cut into it because the amp that I'm going to use, I actually have underneath my camera right now. So here's the bass solo. There it is. All right, so you got the main part, right? Right? And then from there it goes into the part that he actually played, which was... That's pretty much the part that he played. All right, so yeah, there's that. It's forward and backward. And you can hear it on the recording that it's obviously, you hear like the kind of backwards, like it sucked at like the vacuum, that whole vacuum sound, right? Because it's backwards, like Hendrix, you know, right? Hendrix guitar kind of sound. You hear it. It's cool. It's really good. It's a classic song. What are you gonna, you know? Yeah, what else you got? And it's a great song. Everything is a hook. It just sounds just awesome. It's well written. Well written. Paul Simon's got some good stuff. You know, I've heard that he's kind of nasty. Even some of the things I was reading about this and the whole notes on the plagiarism on this album, stuff like that. I don't know. You know, I never met the guy. I haven't seen him. I've only heard, you know, who knows, whatever. But, yep, there it is. This is really good. All right, awesome. Thank you guys. Catch you in the next video.